What is your Tinder horror story? Story 1. A little backstory. A few years ago I was dating this girl and her father really hated me. Which was a bit odd as most parents love me, or at least lie about it real well. He was just a huge prick and I always called him on his shit. Anyways, her parents got divorced, we broke up a few months later, etc. etc. Fast forward to around a year later. Me and girl from Tinder were dating for a few months and things were starting to get serious. We're at the point where she wants me to meet her family. Mother, stepfather, little sister. Why not? I have no problems meeting them, let's do it, I said. She told me how excited her stepdad was to meet me, as it turns out we both happen to be Kansas City Chiefs fans. Well, fuck me if it wasn't the same asshole father of my ex-girlfriend. Story 2. My buddy isn't the smartest man. He picked a chick up and drove to a motel. They were walking into the room and she says, "Oh shit, I forgot my purse in the car, do you mind if I go grab it?" He says, "Yeah, that's fine," and tosses her the keys. 5 minutes later he walks outside wondering where she is and his car is gone. Edit. For clarification, yes, he got his car back. I think the police found it about a week later. I don't think she was ever caught though. If you're in Baltimore swiping, don't let her near your keys. Story 3. Buddy of mine hit it off with this girl and after a few days, she invited him over to a house party. Sure, he says, what could go wrong? He shows up and is introduced to a few of her friends, all guys. As the night carries on, more and more guys show up and very few girls are actually at the party. After they start talking about how they all know this girl, they find out that she invited them all from Tinder. Every guy was there not to hook up, but to populate this chick's birthday party. Edit. Autocorrects from phone. Story 4. Tinder date with a famous chef where I was taken to a dive bar, where he promptly started talking about how famous he was. We drank and watched sports. He proceeded to tell me, "You're cute." And this eventually went to, "I am going to make you bleed." He then invited one of his friends to come along. I went outside and he came up to kiss me. I was drunk, so I kissed back. Eventually he proceeded to tell me how he was being charged with battering his ex-girlfriend, but he totally didn't do it. Eventually when it came time to pay the bill, he lost his wallet. Of course I get stuck with it. "I'll pay you back." Needless to say, I never got a payment. Then he leaned up against me. I thought he was trying to kiss me again, but I looked down, and he was peeing on me. In the street. Peeing. On. Me. I swiftly, being too inebriated to drive, went and got myself a hotel room and a hot shower. Never again. Story 5. Probably not as bad as some of the others I read on here, but I thought I was really hitting it off with a guy I met on Tinder until a few dates later, when he broke down crying in the middle of a heated makeout session telling me he thought he might be gay. Story 7. I met up with this guy I had been talking to a few weeks. Tall, dark and handsome, originally from Turkey, world traveler, etc. Anyway, we meet up for sushi and things are going great. Tons of stuff in common, and then it was like a psycho switch flipped. He started talking about how now that we were going out, I couldn't wear nail polish because he got weirded out holding hands with someone who wore nail polish, and how he wanted to have a daughter but freeze her in time at the age of 4 so that she'd always be a daddy's girl and love him forever, and how when we got old we'd have to have sex with the lights off since I'd be wrinkly and unattractive, and just went on and on. I literally just stared at him speechless and tried to get through the date expecting, at the very least, a free meal. But no free meal. In fact, more expensive meal. This guy had the nerve to ask the waitress to split the check when he ordered twice what I had. We paid, I stormed out, and never talked to him again. Story 8. This was back when Tinder first came out, and wasn't quite as known as a hookup app. We met, and had a great first date. Second date was even better. Things kept going for about 2 months when she told me she went out with me originally in an attempt for a dinner with schmucks type thing where her and all her friends would bring the worst Tinder date. We both really liked each other, but I couldn't get over how we started. Story 9. I messaged a cute blonde girl one day, got a response, and after a while of back and forth making each other laugh and getting along, I mention I'm in a wheelchair, and suddenly she was losing her fucking mind talking about our future and how she wants to explore places like Australia and I wouldn't be able to do that with her because of my wheelchair. I let her go on for a while to see if she'd ever bring it around to a normal person thought process, but it never happened. She lost her mind. Story 10. Similar story, was hooking up with a nurse out at a show. We get back to her place, and she falls asleep on me after our long night. Every time I tried to push her off, she would start go dry heave while asleep. Her retriever came in and sat down on my legs. I ended up just falling asleep. The following morning, she wakes up says, "Well, last night was super fun. But I have to get some sleep now," and sends me packing. I probably should have called her, but I thought it was weird. Had she farted, I probably would have told her and definitely called her again. Story 11. Finally. Started seeing a girl off Tinder. It was going well for about 2 weeks and thought she was pretty cool. Then things started getting weird. She used to always joke about killing me. I thought it was okay the first few times, but then it got annoying. I told her to stop and she kept doing it. If it was because she thought it was funny that it freaked me out, or what. Anyways, told me she has a shotgun in her room. Yikes. Long story short, I told her I didn't want to see her anymore. She didn't like that. For the next 3 weeks she's absolutely hounding me. Calls me constantly, shows up at my work asking for me, keeps coming over to my apartment. She actually knocked on my door for 30 minutes. When I didn't answer, she went around back and started knocking on my bedroom window. Got really concerned for a while, but eventually she gave up. Story 12. I had been on a couple of dates with this girl that I met on Tinder, and learned that she was really into the rockabilly scene. I found out that a local nightclub was hosting a rockabilly-themed night, and so I took her. She had dressed to the nines and we were having a great time in the club. Suddenly this guy accidentally tipped a drink on her 50s-style dress. The guy apologized profusely. She storms over to grab her coat and bag, and on the way out she just punches the guy in the face. Everyone in the club was shocked. I took her outside and told her she couldn't react like that, and that's when she took her heel off and hit me square in the face for siding with the guy. Blood everywhere. I never answered her calls after that. Oh, and she used to be a stripper and cam girl. This adds nothing to the story, but I just like telling people. Pew pew.